My name is Michael Cook. I'm an architect working out of Falls Church, Virginia, and my firm is called Cook Architecture.
What makes you prefer radiant over forced air systems in your designs?
Well, in our practice, we actually work on a lot of mid-century modern home renovations. And in many of the houses in the 50s and 60s, like the Charles Goodman designed homes and Eichler homes, other mid-century modern design and build companies always used radiant heating in their homes. And we just like the extension of that and connecting back to that history. A lot of them are post and beam houses similar to the space that we're in right now. And with a post and beam house, the structure is all revealed. So you have beams structurally operating at about 4 foot on center with a 2x4 or 2x6 Doug fir wood deck. And there's not a lot of places to hide the ductwork. So many of the homes we work on, the ducts are actually poured in the slabs themselves. So again, when your heating and cooling system is all happening within the slab, so your ducts are run there as well as the heating system, it allows us to actually have really clean wall to ceiling conditions where we don't see bulkheads or anything like that. So it really fits in really well with the mid-century modern aesthetic. And often bringing in forced air systems, it just changes so much of the building. So we'd really rather try to keep it all within the slab, and then Warmboard facilitates that really well through the heating. I prefer radiant heating in homes just because your extremities are warm, and it just seems to me if your feet are warm, your body overall feels warmer. And I know that you can actually have the temperature at a much lower level. So you don't have to heat the house as compared to like forced air heating where you have to have 72 to 74 degrees heat within the air. If the Warmboard and the radiant heat is kept at around 68 degrees, it has the same sort of sense of heat and the same sense of warmth. So we prefer that, and I think that is a lot of our projects are slab on grade. So what's really nice about the Warmboard system, if we have a concrete slab, we're only adding a 3/4 inch subfloor thickness. So it doesn't really add a lot of thickness to the floor. So I definitely like the thinness of the application, because often we'll have windows that go all the way down to the floor. And sometimes if you raise the floor system up from a slab on grade project, it'll alter the windows too much. So we definitely like the thinness, and we like the overall warmth. And I know our clients are extremely happy. We were introduced to Warmboard actually from my clients. We had an interesting two clients that happened to live next door to each other, and they were both mid-century modern homes, and the program was to extensively renovate both of those homes. And both clients, the homes originally had radiant heating in the floor, and both clients wanted us to include radiant heating in the new additions. One client had a larger budget than the other client, and he had actually introduced us to Warmboard initially. The other client sort of did his own do-it-yourself version of a radiant heating system. Yeah, what was interesting is that both projects actually used a wooden floor system, 3/4 inch, 1x6 white oak floor that was going on top of the radiant heating system. And I was very concerned about the irregular shape that the do-it-yourself project had as compared to Warmboard floor, where it was a very sort of symmetrical and consistent layout of the radiant pipes. When it came time for the wood installer to put in the floor, we just really appreciated that Warmboard's layout was a much more consistent than the do-it-yourself version. And our main concern was that the wood installer was going to shoot nails into the radiant system and then we wouldn't know about that until they actually turned the system on. So I did like the fact that Warmboard, its layout just was much more consistent and easier for the wood install to take place. In terms of how to get the home runs back to the manifold, I think that was a lot trickier too, because they were trying to prevent having radiant lines cross over each other. So having a drawing and someone else involved that has experience in laying out a radiant heating system, that I think both of the projects probably had a 6 or 7 area zone, 6 or 7 different zones. So within the zones, having a drawing and a guideline was much easier than the other do-it-yourself project. We really appreciated the collaborative effort that happened with Warmboard. The technical representatives were readily available for us to answer all the questions, and they also have this added service where Warmboard will assist in the layout of all of the panels. So for our install, what was really nice is that the panel system layout helped answer a lot of questions, because a lot in the Washington metropolitan area, not a lot of people have any experience with radiant heating. So we liked the technical support, and we liked it so it was a little bit more of a collaboration between our team and Warmboard's specifiers. Having a drawing with the layout was just much easier for us to follow. In many other bathrooms we've used electric radiant heat, and the electric radiant heat is just very costly in the long run. But I do know where we've done whole house heating systems with the Warmboard, the clients are really happy and they seem to be pleased with the overall cost of the system. Well, I like the flexibility that they also have if you want to have a full system design from Warmboard, as well as the heating equipment for the water, that's possible. But I also like the fact that if you want to just buy their panels, which again distribute the heat more evenly throughout the space, and it allows you to use radiant heating with a solid wood floor. I like the fact that you could actually separate the two. You don't have to buy the whole entire system. You can buy just the panels, or you can have a full mechanically designed system. We are now currently working on another mid-century modern renovation, and for that project we're specifying Warmboard.